Hello, I'm Fallen and this is Automation. Today we will be continuing our, small series of where I built a car for each decade. These are inspired by my, Polish brand basically. Like you can see, we've done quite a few of them. 5 to be exact, and it is time for the 6th one. It will be the 90s build. My plan is to build a 90s luxurious sedan. For this purpose we will be using this body. It is looking like a Mercedes, but that's on purpose, kinda. I don't want to build a Mercedes clone. I will be doing quite opposite of that, I think, at least. But what I'm aiming for is this front piece here. It is looking quite similar to our previous builds. Also, the engine here will be, basically V10, so that will be quite powerful one too. We'll be going with some higher quality materials for this one. Well, it is basically 90s, it is after the Soviet bloc has fallen, so we are going into the export area all the way, basically. And for that we need a lot of prestige, and prestige comes here from the high quality production. The engine will be almost square, 5.25 liter. Why? Because, well, basically for our first build we were going with 2.1 liter. Back then basically one cylinder was like a half a liter, and multiplied by 10 we've got capacity like this. And that's very simple logic, as you can see. 4 volts per cylinder should be fine here. Head material we are going for something lighter. Aluminum should be fine. Or you know what, scratch that, let's go with single overhead cam. On the bottom end we go forged steel, and conrods will be cast and pistons will be cast. Might come back here to change it. We'll see how our engine fares, and balancing mass, let's set it to harmonic damper. For the top end, as I am not going with forced induction, I am going to have the compression set a little bit higher. The RPM should be around 7 or 8,000, at least I would aim for that. So the cam profile can go a bit higher, nothing else will be changed for now. Fuel system we go with multi-point EFI, and I don't want to go with per cylinder configuration here, cause I think that's quite over the top. We should go with either single or twin, and also not go too high in terms of intake manifold. The required fuel will be 98 octane anyway. Keeping in mind that I said we are going with quite prestigious build, we are going with tubular headers. They are lighter, they are better quality basically, and the exhaust has to be dual. Well, also this vehicle has to be correctly built for export, so we are going with catalytic converter. In previous build I think we still were on leaded fuel, so that's something new. And the mufflers should be there too. First one, let's say it will be straight through, and the second has to be a dampening one. That would be quite a bit of power for an engine that I didn't tweak at all, but we are not making it because of the conrod issues. So I guess we are going for higher quality in terms of the bottom end, like so, and now we won't need as much balancing mass as we have right now. Also, I know the valve float has to be fixed. That is quite easily solved by changing the springs and lifters. Quite neat engine we've got here, maybe we should step back for a while and give it a listen. Yeah, that's how V10 should sound like. I must say, this engine is one of the easiest I ever made. I haven't had any reason to tweak much here. I just, to make it a bit more complex, I've decided to go with full VVT and VVL. It gives us quite a bit of power, additional power, this way of tuning it. Wonder how it will go in BeamNG Drive though. Also, I haven't done many builds with VVL, so I've got no idea how to tune it really. I think that's fine, or fine-ish. Other than that, not much has changed. I just differentiated the ignition timing. Fuel map is quite similar to what it was before, and the exhaust is 2.75 inches, so it's quite big one. To summarize things, we've got our first unleaded fuel build, that is a V10, and we are making almost 500 horsepower. This body is being twisted around with more things like mad, really. I don't know if it was a good idea to pick that one. Yeah, I am not changing the body in middle of the build often. I'm not doing that at all, really. But this previous body was so bad, I just had to do it. It was... no, I couldn't work with it. So yeah, we ended up with completely different body, and now I've got to somehow make it fit the whole build. Well, front just had to get blobby eyes like this, and now we've got to, well, somehow fit our previous characteristics of this well, series basically. I just said I want to keep the characteristics of the previous builds, and I've came up with something completely different. So yeah, I guess I will be rolling with that. We will be setting our badging on the front, that is for sure. Now I wonder if I can fit these 5 strips of ours somehow into this build. Well, the answer is yes, but I don't really like it, so I'm going to remove it and keep the front simple. Maybe do something more with this pattern here. You know what, let's just agree this is the new era and, well, time for a new style. But not completely, there are few pieces that have to stay with these builds of mine. Well, there are only a few small pieces left to be placed on the front, and I've decided to move the badging down onto the grille, cause it kinda looked silly on the hood there. So what I want to place here is only small front lip, so there's a bit of definition on this front bumper. Not the best, but not the worst either. And that way the sides are done, small indicator, the door handles, I need to place the mirror, and well, the aerial from previous builds is back, but I will make it plastic this time. These 3 spokes just scream that they are from the 90s. That is a lot of taillights for one car, but we will be staying with this kind of design likely till the 2000s, so this is not going to be the only build that will have this long taillight here. What else should we place here is, well, some definition for the rear end, cause it is quite simple as of now, but there isn't much that we have to think about. Just simple grill piece modeled into the morph of the body. The cutouts for exhaust are there, now we just have to pick, well, proper exhaust. I want to place here one that is square. Okay, like so, and I think the rear end is done, can be considered done. So the only thing left here is to place the interior. I just had an idea to sneak the logo, the branding badge under the taillight. I wonder if it will be visible in BeamNG Drive or in photo mode, cause technically this piece here is translucent. The dashboard was quite an easy pick for this one, but right now I've got to find proper seats. I guess we can go with classic ones from Automation. These are in the base game, you don't need any mods for them. And the rear bench, and we will be basically done with the design. The only thing left will be to tune this car. Also, I've just placed the engine in there and chose the gearbox. The gearbox will be CVT. I want to give it another try. I still don't understand how to transfer it properly into BeamNG though, so it works just fine. But I guess we can learn together, we don't need to be successful at every build we do. Okay, so we can consider the interior done, it looks quite neat. from the outside, that is, cause like always if you go inside it is quite well empty. But that would take me a few hours to well completely fill these interiors. Back in the day I did few builds like that, but these were well whole day long to record really. Okay, as I just said, we are going with CVT, so let me pick other parts and we will see what the graphs tell us. Okay, so there are our graphs. The preset here set is to comfort, that is why it is so high, but I am going to lower it instantly, so it looks much better. Anyway, in real life no car is that high, so yeah. So let's fiddle with CVT setting. No idea how fast this car can go, to be honest. It set us at 290, but we've got almost 500 horsepower, so maybe it would be a good idea to make it a little bit longer. The game tells us we are going to get into 330 km per hour, so let's set it at 337 or 345. Oh, this should be a sweet spot. So changing the first gear here changes the amount of power we get early at the start, so considering we've got quite a bit of power, let's move it a little bit forward to 80 km per hour. The wheels, I've set them off camera, they are well set in terms of the offset. They are quite wide, so they should be giving us enough of traction. Okay, I tuned them a little bit so we are not completely oversteery, it should be a little bit better. Now onto the brakes, and well, the rear ones are overpowered, so let's make them a little bit weaker. This should be fine. The aerodynamics we don't have any. I guess we've got technically a front wing, so we could set it to be well, set a little bit different. Maybe it would be a good idea even. Well, this setting doesn't do anything because we don't have the rear wing. When it comes to the interior, we are going heavy and luxurious, so yeah, let's roll with that. Traction aids, we've got some traction control and ABS, variable hydraulic steering. Don't think it changes much in BeamNG Drive, but hey, let's go for the stats here. And safety is advanced 90s, we are going luxurious. Also, we weigh almost 2000 kilos, so that's quite hefty car. I wanna change the suspension a little bit, so we are less oversteery, because right now we are quite deep into it. Okay, the drivability went way higher than it was before, so I guess we are good to go now. Yeah, I think the car is finished. I don't think we need to change anything more here. It looks quite distinct for what it is, so yeah. Let's finish it off here. Let me export the car into BeamNG and we will try it out there. Also, I love that the gearbox says that it has 0 gears. There we are in BeamNG Drive. You know what? Looking at this car from the rear now, again, it kinda reminds me of Saab 993, I believe. And I mean only body molding, cause the lights on Saab are quite a bit different. They are very simple, really. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. We should focus on what we have here. I guess there's a little bit of a mismatch between front and the rear. But, well, I might try to redeem myself in next one. This one is, well, quite neat in terms of how it exported, but I guess I didn't place any chrome bumpers this time, so that is that. Also, this one is very loud for some reason. I guess it is due to, well, the first muffler being straight through, but remember, my previous builds had no secondary muffler at all. They only had the one in the rear. So yeah, enough rambling, let's take a listen. Yeah, the throttle response here is insane, like in a sports car. But as you can easily hear, It is quite loud. Let's see how it drives. I didn't full throttle here. Jesus, I need to lower the volume here, sorry. Yeah, my eardrums wouldn't like that. And here's that oversteer we had in, well, the graphs we're talking about in automation. Let's see how it does on full throttle. I guess it doesn't do anything because we have a ESC, or a traction control rather. Okay, now let's try it again. Yes. I've got no idea how CVTs are supposed to work on this powerful of builds. I guess they are not really made for them. This car constantly wants to spin out. It has no stability whatsoever. I tried here to pick up some speed to maybe reach 200 kilometers per hour, but no, there's no way. Maybe when I am half throttling it, it could somehow get to higher speeds, but when full throttling it just goes sideways. It has too much torque for what it is. But I guess we can easily fishtail on the highway here, just around. We can't drive straight anyway, so what's the issue here? Well, let's give it another go, but this time there's something different. Yeah, as you can see, I went for advanced automatic gearbox. So we are much more stable, but still this car is very wobbly. So I guess it would be a good idea to give it, well, much harder suspension, so it is sticking to the ground way better. Also, if I've ever wanted to do it into a race car, giving it a rear wing would be a good option too. So yeah, this car can be fun to drive, can be very fast, but it is all up to the gearing, and CVT, it doesn't seem that it is made for higher torque and higher speeds. Well, I also modified the original CVT one too. I gave it basically a lot longer gearing, so it is picking up speed now, but it still isn't what it could be. It is still very wobbly, it goes around, it doesn't want to accelerate quite as good as the automatic one, advanced automatic one, and here it is. Well, I wanted to crash into it, but I guess you can't steer that one at all. Well then, let's finish it off here, shall we? It was quite a difficult build, it was kind of a fiasco too, sadly. At least the CVT one, it is undrivable at all. Kinda sad, but I guess I got a grip on it. I understand now how to do a proper CVT. For higher torques, higher top speeds, we would need to make it basically a lot longer gearing. That is the top speed than what automation says, and the first gear setting should be a lot longer too. Also, this car has some different issues, like the suspension being too soft, but it is what it is, basically. What else can I say? The food delivery came in and I've got no idea what I was saying, but I think I wanted to say that the aim of this build wasn't to get us another sports car, but a luxurious export sedan, so I guess we succeeded at that. Anyway, let's finish the video here. Please consider leaving a like, commenting. I do read through them, I do take them into account when building another stupid or not design. Also, a lot of my viewers aren't even subscribed, so if you aren't, please consider it. It is quite a bit of motivation, and it gives, well, what can I say, it makes the videos more apparent for other people that, well, aren't watching this channel yet. And I certainly want to grow and develop. So yeah, let's finish it off here. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.